Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to another edition of Uncaged. My name is Mike Larkin, and as always, I am joined by my boy DC Daniel Crimmins. And Dan, we are not alone.
Michael, allow me.
Oh, okay. I'll let you do it.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are joined by one quarter of the TSK. We are joined by one of the all-time great trash talkers. One hell of a damn good guitar player. One hell of an awesome person. We are joined by the current Max Wrestling International Champion, the one, the only Robert fucking Davis.
Yeah. What's up, Roberto?
That's how you do an intro.
That's I'll put up my one right now. Right there. What's up, Roberto?
I kind of like that middle name better than my actual one. So
Robert fucking Davis.
I might actually go with that.
Jerry fucking Lynn. The whole.
Feel free to use that, Rob.
I may have to. I'm gonna have to make a few phone calls tomorrow or Monday morning.
Steal that.
I will say that.
Fucking day is it? I don't even know.
That middle name right there was too sweet, and which is what we are going to be talking about in today's episode. We're going to be talking about the Bullet Club as a whole, from the merchandise sales that it gave us, from everything in Hot Topic, for people that involved like AJ Styles, Kenny Omega, Cody Rhodes, Adam Cole, Baby, and
Stephen Amell. You got a shirt.
Stephen Amell, yes, that's true. Okay. But I always look at it like this. Let's start from the concept of the Bullet Club. Now, we know in WCW, they took the NWO from a Japanese group in Japan, and they made it Americanized. So I will start with you, Dan. What were your initial thoughts on when the Bullet Club came into formation and how it really affected the history that would be in New Japan?
You know, I think when you look at the initial incantation of the Bullet Club, you know, you didn't really see a lot of gaijin stables. You know, you had NWO Japan, but that was sort of a mixed bag. You know, I mean, you had American wrestlers and Japanese wrestlers. Fake Sting.
Yeah. Jeff Farmer.
Yeah.
I think he was, Cobra something in WCW?
Something. I remember Jumping Jeff Farmer. That's all I know. Yep. Jumping Jeff.
That was something different. Finn Balor's first heel run.
Yep.
And I do sometimes wonder if he ever got any royalty checks from the Bucks, because
no,
they
owe him so much money.
Oh God, for what he started and hid, absolutely, they owe him some money. Give the Prince his money, goddammit.
Because I think he came up with the name, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, he did.
Sure did.
He should have trademarked that.
Trademark it.
But then again, you know, Vince would have had that off him faster than you can see.
Oh, of course. He couldn't trademark it. Tiger Hattori into it.
Now, Rob, I'll even go over to you on this one. Your thoughts of the incarnation of the Bullet Club and what we saw from stables like NWO and factions that really paved the way.
So I'm actually going back to it because I kind of picked up wrestling again about 10 years ago now, actually. It's been quite a decade. But 2016 is when I first discovered Finn Balor. Finn Balor was the one that brought me back to wrestling. So like a typical nerd, I had to go see where this dude came from. So I went and researched my ass off and found his New Japan stuff and found out he was part of this group called Bullet Club. And I saw the formation with Tama, Bad Luck Fale, eventually the Good Brothers who joined. And I was just so excited because one of the things I thought was missing at the time in 2016 when I started watching wrestling again was a faction. I was just like, this is the coolest fucking thing ever. I mean, obviously, come to find out he's not in the faction anymore, but it's still going strong with AJ and Kenny and Bucks and things like that. So it really actually kind of got my eyes over onto the New Japan project because I always thought factions were cool, like, coming up in the 90s, DX and WO, things like that. Dangerous Alliance, if you even want to go back even further than that. I just thought it was the coolest fucking thing. And it's pretty bummed when they ended it a couple months ago here. But All good things must come to an end.
It's funny. There was a story. I forget who told it, but it was before Hot Topic signed the deal with New Japan, to carry their merch. Apparently, they came to they showed up to a WrestleMania, and they said, "Where are the Bullet Club guys?
Mm-hmm.
Where are those guys? Where are those young bucks? Where's the Bullet Club?" And apparently, a couple fans have had to say, they wrestle in Japan for another company.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, that's quite the story.
And you know what? I'll bet you it's true.
It is true. 100% true.
It's damn true.
There's been a couple of people who confirmed that story already. So,
I mean, when I think of the Bullet Club, for me, I'm much with Rob on this. Like, I remember when Finn Balor came into the WWE, the debut with him and Kenta against the Ascension, and then I had heard about where he had come from as well. I remember watching him on Ring of Honor. I remember watching the New Japan dynamic there, and I was always fascinated with the fact that we had the theme song, which I loved. I got a human and I shot him with my gun, which I thought was a badass theme. It was just so cool. It had very much different similarities from the NWO. Like Rob mentioned, Bad Luck Fale, fuck them, and so many things that came from that. I always thought it was very cool. It had its own flavor and its touch, and it was just another great iteration of what professional wrestling needed, like Robert said, with stables, with factions, and what we needed, something fresh, something new in wrestling. Because if you remember, the WWE product at the time wasn't the best. TNA wasn't necessarily the best in its own right, so then you have this alternative, and it's like, okay, let me gravitate towards this. This seems very interesting.
100%. And I think with, Finn coming in and eventually Shinsuke and, Gallows and Anderson, that kind of got people's attention to kind of realize that there's more than just WWE. For those of us that grew up in the 90s, like I think we were all aware of New Japan because we had guys like Liger coming over.
Scott
Norton, who's also a member of the Bullet Club. It was just a matter of kind of getting a hold of that alternative. I know most of us were probably too young in the 90s to, tape trade, but it was out there, and it was a viable product for those people that were able to watch it, which I think is still pretty cool.
I mean, I remember I was a WCW kid back in the day, and occasionally, you'd see Jushin Thunder Liger, and you'd hear about him and Ultimo Dragon. You see these guys, and it's just like seeing them move like that. And you would hear Scott Norton, and you'd hear him. I think a couple of times he even brought over the IWGP Heavyweight title at the time.
He did.
Absolutely did. You had Masahiro Chono, which he'd been around the block. And I dare say, if it wasn't for Bullet Club, I don't know if we'd have AEW right now.
No.
So thank you, Finn Balor.
I think the Japanese influence, and much like you guys mentioned, like you had your Jushin Thunder Ligers against the Flying Brian Pillmans back in WCW, the Rey Mysterio Juniors, the Juventud Guerreros, the Psychosises, the Malenkos, the Guerreros, the Benoits. I think with all of this influx that we had in the mid-2010s, I think for me too, much like you mentioned, there would be no AEW without Bullet Club. You saw something that a lot of people gravitated to, not just merch-wise, the coolness of the product and just something different, but their wrestling abilities, what they can do. It was a nice little flair to it, but also at the same time too, if you have something that you believe in and something that you hold on to and you just let it grow, and here's where we are with AEW, and it's around 7 years strong now, and New Japan has evolved in its own right.
And to kind of put an emphasis on one thing, Finn Balor as the leader. Like, Finn is not the tallest guy.
No.
Not the absolute meathead, muscle guy either. The fact that New Japan trusted this man to come up with something, to run with the idea, and eventually lead the stable, I think was pretty fucking cool. Because that kind of gave hope to, those of us that aren't the tallest, that aren't the strongest. Like, we can be viable if we needed to be, if we wanted to be.
Amen to that. And I mean, for you guys, I got to mention this and just get it out of the way because of one of the members that was a part of the original Bullet Club. You got to talk about Mi Amigos, and his tortillas throwing himself. I think of like Jeff Jarrett was in the mix, Scott D'Amore, the whole nine. Y'all want to talk about Jeff Jarrett in the Bullet Club?
I think he was in there for a cup of coffee. Thank God.
And wasn't Doc Gallows' ex-wife in there at one point?
Amber O'Neill.
Amber O'Neill. Yep.
The great Amber O'Neill, yes, from Wow Women of Wrestling, yes, sir.
Absolutely was.
You know, and there are certain things that I think New Japan was able to get away with that a lot of Western companies are not. I mean, Yujiro Takahashi, who I don't think he gets enough credit.
He's entertaining as hell.
You know, you had a name like the Tokyo Pimp.
Tokyo Pimp.
Like, we had the Godfather, yes, but he never outright called himself a pimp.
No.
He said pimpin' ain't easy, but he didn't call himself a pimp yet.
He sure didn't.
Yujiro did. And the girls, you know, coming out with him, like, gotta love it.
And that's absolutely wild to think Peter, the main one who used to come out, was actually Foley's girl at one point.
Right? That's crazy to even think about that. But yeah, like those characters, and I mean, for me, we always go back to like the main ones too, of like AJ Styles, the Kenny Omegas, and the Cody Rhodeses of the world, and the Adam Pages. For me, I actually wanted to start with the AJ one because we mentioned it many times on all of our shows, respectively and collectively, that AJ Styles She popped number one, yes, sir. When it comes to AJ Styles, I mean, leaving TNA from what he was doing in 2014, and then he goes right into New Japan, wins the IWGP World Title from Okada, the Bullet Club. He elevated himself so much from going from where he was in TNA at the end, refusing to take a pay cut, and just evolved and really rejuvenated and energized New Japan. I thought that was one of the best runs of AJ Styles' career, even for so short it was. So, Dan, I'll ask you first, AJ and the Bullet Club.
You know, I think it was revolutionary. Definitely revitalized his career. Like we had talked about AJ, if he had gone from WCW direct to WWE,
yeah,
I don't think he'd have the career that he had.
No, if he was there at the time, I can mostly see him being the cruiserweight champion.
Oh yeah, they would have released him.
He'd probably be in AEW right now.
Probably.
And let's not forget, he not only beat Okada and won the IWGP title, he did it in his second match with the company.
Mm-hmm.
Arguably one of the greatest New Japan superstars of all time. Bitch.
So, Rob, your thoughts on AJ and the Bullet Club, Uncle Alan?
I got to imagine what it must have been like for him to just say, you know what, I'm going to go to Japan. I'm going to do this thing. And I hope to God it works. And thankfully it did, because, well, I don't think his Bullet Club run is talked about very much. I think it's very underrated, because with Finn going, I think that could have put the group into a bit of a tailspin. But bringing AJ on board to lead the group, I think was the right call. Absolutely the right call.
I think at the time he was so hot just because everybody was so pissed off of what happened with the TNA situation that we wanted to see more of AJ. You also have to remember, this was also the same time not only did AJ leave TNA, but Christopher Daniels left and Frankie Kazarian, Bad Influence, went to Ring of Honor. You had a lot of people dipping from TNA at the time, and they did their thing in Ring of Honor. But with AJ Styles in Japan, this is someone who has been in the business for, my God, almost 10 plus years at this time when he was in there. So he's really going out on a limb, and like Rob mentioned, just like, hey man, let's see what I can do with this. And I think he held up his end to the bargain. Now I have to ask you about Kenny Omega too, because I'll tell you straight up and down like 6 o'clock, I love the Golden Lovers. I loved him and Kota Ibushi as a team. They were fantastic. So seeing him join as a heel and be in the Bullet Club, and the story that led to the reuniting of the Golden Lovers, I'll start with Rob. Your thoughts on Kenny Omega and the Bullet Club?
when the night that he joined, and just the way that Carl Anderson kind of presented that, it was just really like, man, who the fuck could this be? And then when they finally revealed it was Kenny, that was just like, oh shit. I mean, I don't know if that was just me kind of being a naive fan at the time, but kind of seeing that goes like, okay, like this could work. This could, do something. This kind of puts the Golden Lovers in a weird spot, I imagine, but this could be really fucking cool. And sure enough, it was.
And Dan, I'll start with you on this one because Kenny Omega, here's a guy who he was in Deep South Wrestling for a cup of coffee in the developmental. He dealt with the bullshit of Bill DeMott. He got out of WWE and he was like, fuck this shit, I'm out. Literally, no thanks.
No thanks.
And made his career in Japan, DDT, and did all these things. Go ahead, Dan.
He is somebody that, like, whenever I hear, and E fans, Rob, you can attest this, we've talked about it on the TSK show all the time. They talk so much shit about Kenny, but if he showed up on Raw on Monday night, oh, they'd love him.
Oh, if he was in the Rumble,
and
they would.
Yeah.
Yep.
They had him. They had Kenny Omega. But you let him go. You released him.
I remember it was always funny around January from like 2017 to I think the inception of AEW. It was like, oh, Kenny's coming. Kenny's gonna be in the Rumble. Yep. Kenny's gonna be in the Rumble. Kenny's gonna be in the Rumble. He's never in the Rumble.
I seem to remember a couple BT being the elites where he joked about it. He laughed at it. And I mean, to be fair, the Bucks even said there were times where they were really, really close. Mm-hmm. And I think when Kenny retires, I think he'll go down as one of the greatest to never be on a main roster WWE run. And I think arguably his run, probably the most successful Bullet Club leader.
You motherfucker, goddamn Twinkle Toe sounds like a goddamn phone sex operator, motherfucker.
Goddamn Twinkle Toes makes finger bang.
Goddamn wrestling a goddamn 90 with a blow up doll. What the fuck is this? One of his biggest critics.
Boogeyman says what?
Oh, one of the biggest critics being Jim Cornette. Well, I've seen, like you guys mentioned, with being the elite. Like, obviously, we know Matt Jackson wrestled on WWE once. He wrestled Vladimir Kozlov in 2008. But I look at as far as Kenny goes, it's like one of the things he's always said is like, that's not my style. He doesn't like the way that they do things. He likes his style of Japan and wrestling and whatnot. That's what he's focused on. I think that's what made him who he is. He has the swag. He has that theme. He has, you know what you're doing. He has the aesthetic and everything that everybody can gravitate towards. And for me, I'll even say this, because one of my biggest things that hooked me was not only, like we mentioned, the reuniting of the Golden Lovers, but this power struggle between Cody and Kenny for the Bullet Club and the matches that those two had. And Dan, I'll start with you on this one. Your thoughts of, so Cody is gone from WWE, quits, tired of being Stardust, tired of this gimmick, tired of being here and feeling miserable. So he goes out on his expedition. He appears in TNA. He appears in Ring of Honor. He appears in New Japan. He's doing all these indies. What were your thoughts on Cody and the Bullet Club and the feud with Kenny Omega?
You know, back when we were excited to see Cody Rhodes on our screens, back when, we liked seeing him, now it's just like, oh, God. Like, it was cool, but, you also forget Adam Cole.
Baby!
I remember, I'm trying to remember when exactly that he joined, Rob. Was it right after AJ left?
I think right. Then they kicked Kenny out, right? I think he's the one who kicked Kenny out, if I remember correctly.
No, the Fire was the one who kicked Kenny out.
Oh, that's right. Yes, I'm sorry. Thank you.
But Cody can work great as a heel. We remember him as dashing Cody Rhodes. That worked.
Well, looking in the mirror, everything worked on that. Yep. Even undashing with the paper bag on the head.
And it kills me because it's like, just as an aside, look what turning heel did for Roman.
Agreed. Absolutely.
It works.
Turn Cody heel. Let him be the Cody that he was in Ring of Honor. Let him be the Cody he was in Japan. He
Make
can
him-
do it.
You can make him say,
Oh, nah.
Fuck the Revival.
fuck the Revival.
I love that just became an internet meme.
Just freaking whisper, hey, guess what? Fuck the Revival. So
Cody, that's not the line.
that's not the lie, Cody.
Oh.
Oh,
Let's try it again.
We're good Christian boys, but I think we need to let the crowd say it.
fuck the
Fuck the
Revival.
Revival.
All right, Rob, so your thoughts on Cody and Kenny Omega, Cody and the Bullet Club, and Adam Cole, baby.
This was always such a internal struggle for me because when Cody first debuted in Japan and I saw he was going to Bullet Club, I was just like, really?
Him?
Really? This motherfucker? You're going to come and fuck this up for the rest? And I got to say, he did okay. I mean, the BTE skits were funny. The matches were great. I think one of the first matches I seen was Kota Ibushi and then Cody Rhodes, I think, during that Wrestle Kingdom. And I was just like, holy shit. Like, he can actually wrestle pretty good. I wonder why WWE didn't want him, because at this time I didn't know anything of Stardust or Dashing Cody Rhodes. But I was just like, not too hot on him coming, but he ended up proving me wrong. It ended up being really good. But as big as a Kenny fan I was just like, at the end of the day, it was just like, still, fuck you, Cody. Fuck you.
And
But
baby.
I'm always going to make him say, though.
Oh, nah.
Nah.
What about baby?
Always loved Adam Cole and Bullet Club. I thought that was the perfect fit. I was kind of bummed to see him get kicked out by the Bucks.
Yep.
In a Ring of Honor and the debuting Marty Scurll.
Oh, that's a controversial one.
That is a very controversial one. I bought your jersey, Marty. It took 7 weeks to get to me for whatever fucking reason. 2 weeks later, the Me Too movement started.
And then you're like, fuck.
I've never worn it.
I also have that
Sitting
Marty
in the-
Scurll Bullet Club shirt, and
You really? Wow.
It's sitting in the closet. You
Yeah,
owe
I've got it in a
$70,
box somewhere.
motherfucker.
like I remember when all the Bullet Club shirts were in Hot Topic. You know, you had like, I think I had obviously the OG Bullet Club shirt.
Mm-hmm.
I had the Young Bucks shirt, the Kenny one.
Still got that one.
I even had the backpack.
Yeah,
Yes, they had a Bullet Club Elite backpack.
we sure did.
Oh, I've got that one. And I think if it wasn't for Kenny and the Bucks bringing New Japan mainstream to the States, I don't know. Like, it's when you see that in Hot Topic, and there was a time, and you can both back me up on this, where whatever you watched on WWE, whether it was Raw, SmackDown, or pay-per-view, you would see at least 20 or 30 Bullet Club shirts in the crowd.
Yes.
100%.
My thing too is, and I'll even add to your guys' points. So much like Rob, when I first saw Cody in New Japan was the Wrestle Kingdom in 2017, where he debuted against Juice Robinson. I'm gonna roll a motherfucker up.
That's right.
Yes, and then I remember the Kota Ibushi one the following year in 2018, and I had always thought like, okay, this is what was missing from Cody. I mean, the Stardust stuff. I remember when they turned it heel and he was feuding with Dustin, and I'm like, they could have had a WrestleMania match, but they blew it. And then you had Adam Cole, who I liked in Ring of Honor, him and Mike Bennett and Maria. I got something for ya, and everything they did there. I thought that was so cool. So
that was the OG Kingdom, wasn't it?
yes,
Oh yeah.
yes, sir.
Yeah.
And I always loved just how different the deaths of these characters were, and putting them into this stable really helped everybody and really emphasized the faction. So I really like that these guys were getting a chance, and we got former people in WWE who were less valued really up their value and become more representable to the fans' eyes. So I was really digging that. The Marty Scurll thing, I will say this, I remember watching that, and I'm like, okay, well, I've heard the name. Let's see how this goes. And then, of course, the Me Too movement happened, and I'm like, yeah, okay, fuck that guy. And here we are. But no, I think those introductions were cool. I think another introduction I do have to mention. One of the ones that a lot of people talk about that people forget, Chase Owens. Were you guys a fan of Chase Owens in the Bullet Club?
Yeah.
The crown jewel, Chase Owens? Absolutely.
Hell
You
yeah.
know, I seem to remember an episode of Being the Elite where Cody, the Bucks, Kenny, I think they went to a Target actually, and Cody picked up a replica of the toy replica of the NXT title, and he says, "Rest in peace, Adam Cole."
Yes, that's right.
Mhm.
I think another one we do have to mention. You guys mentioned the Gallows, great tag team. Well, them, Nakamura, AJ got all swooped in WWE in 2016, but a lot of people, we got to talk about them since they were recently the tag champs, no longer tag champs. We got to talk about Tama Tonga, and the infamous Tonga Loa. Look, you got to understand something. Watching that first Wrestle Kingdom and really being new to the New Japan product, seeing it but not being fully invested. When these two are screaming and yelling at them, "Eat shit, motherfucker," I about died because this is completely the opposite of TNA and WWE. Eat shit, motherfucker. And Mama Lark and Papa Lark, shout out to my dad. Happy birthday, and shout out to Mama
Happy
Lark.
birthday, Pops.
Yeah, man. We were watching that, and my mom was like, "They could do that here." I'm like, "Yes, this is not WWE or TNA," because she heard the "eat shit, motherfucker" too, and it was funny. But I also look at it from a stance like this. So unique, so just Gorillas of Destiny were some of my favorite tag team around that time, still are, and them in Ring of Honor New Japan. So, Dan, I'll start with you. Your thoughts on the GOD, Hey.
And let's not forget that their dad, Haku, the OG, the biggest badass in wrestling, was also a member of Bullet Club.
Bite your nose off.
You know, I still remember.
As far as I'm concerned, Haku is still a member.
Yeah,
I'm sure they scared to tell him Bullet Club is done.
How many people have told you, like, you did not mess with Haku?
Everybody.
Paul Heyman's Hall of Fame introduction, he said, looked at his kids, he said, "You're going to be fine. You're sitting next to Haku." But, you know, especially with Tama, like, just as an aside, people don't realize he's an Air Force veteran.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, he is.
I remember that online beef that he got into with Roman. And, you know, he does the whole, like, at some point, we need a Tama Tonga Roman Reigns feud.
I would not be mad at that because I do remember that.
And it worked. It worked. Like, Tama was cool. After AJ or after Kenny left, after the Bucks left, Tama Tonga was what was cool about Bullet Club.
Can you also make a statement with Tonga Loa that when he was in WWE on the Tonga Loa side, like
Camacho says what?
That's what I'm about to say. When Camacho and Unico were on the main roster, then they put him in NXT and he was just Camacho, this guy. And then he gets released and then he goes over there. Well, actually, he didn't go over there first. I believe he was in TNA first with the
Micah.
Micah with Eli Drake. Dummy. Yeah. And Drew Galloway. That went nowhere. But yeah, seeing him do his thing in New Japan and just really be with his brother, that opened up so many doors. I think another name that definitely has to be mentioned that I thought was really cool, and a lot of also people forget this name too as well. Robbie X is another one, or Robbie Eagles are two that really came to my mind. Did you guys like the Robbies being in there?
Yeah.
I did. I thought Robbie Eagles was kind of an interesting choice, considering who he's friends with and his background and stuff. Yeah, I mean, it always made more sense that he would join TMDK, and he eventually did. But I was just like, okay, Robbie Eagles and Bullet Club. This is kind of cool.
Okay. Here's a random one that I totally forgot looking at the names, and God rest his soul to his daddy. I know it may have been a cup of coffee, but I think this one is definitely pivotal to mention. Cody Hall.
Yes.
What'd you guys think of Cody? I know Cody tried, but I mean, it's really tough when your father's in the business and you're trying to make a name for yourself. Did you guys like Cody Hall?
I didn't mind it. The thing that I know Cody Hall for is his online beef with Joey Janela. And
oh my God, that's right.
You're 7 feet tall. You're Scott Hall's son.
Yep.
Get your shit together, Chico.
Yeah.
I was just like, Joey, you didn't have to do this, man.
No. What were your thoughts on Cody Hall there, Mr. Daniel Clemens?
Cody Hall had a great look.
Yes, he did.
He had the height. He had the build. He's somebody that I think they rushed him too soon. I think if he had spent time in the dojo, or even if he had done NXT, I think he would have. I think if he had done NXT, he'd probably be on the main roster right now.
Honestly, looking at his size and stature, like you mentioned, I remember when, who was it? Jake Carter, the son of Big Van Vader, God rest his soul. Like when him and Corey Graves were a tag team, like they had a lot of promise in NXT, and then they broke them apart. Do you think if Jake Carter, much like a Cody Hall, were together in NXT at that time, they could have been something?
Maybe.
I think it's just a tale of, like you mentioned, he got in there too quick, and everybody just saw him as the son of Scott Hall. I mean, he's not going to ever be like David Sammartino was or even David Flair was, but he definitely had a lot of potential.
We don't talk about David Flair.
No, we don't. So we go from Cody Hall. Another name I have to mention.
Ric Flair doesn't even talk about David Flair.
Oh, that's horrible.
Ric Flair.
We mentioned him earlier. I want to get to this before we get to the Bang Bang Gang. Kenta. Y'all want to talk about our boy Kenta? Fuck you, CM Punk with the GTS. I'm the real one with the GTS. God damn it.
Kenta Hideo Itami?
Yeah, that Kenta. Hideo Itami. Never won the Cruiserweight title.
You mean the Good Nighthausen?
Yes. The fact that man, he was such a hot heel at the time in NXT and in WWE. I mean, injuries happen. We all know that. But the fact that he never won the Cruiserweight title is such a goddamn shame.
Criminal. Absolutely criminal.
When they put it on Enzo Amore.
Yeah, that's when it went down.
Twice.
You knew it wasn't getting on Kenta. But he said, respect me.
Respect me. Your thoughts, Rob. I'll start with you, because obviously the originator of the GTS, the go to sleep, not
yes.
CM Punk. Your thoughts on Kenta?
Loved Kenta. When he came back to New Japan, and I just felt something in the bowels of my soul. I was just like, oh, this is not going to be good, especially for Shibata-san. And I was right. It went pretty downhill pretty quick, but at the same time, I always felt Kenta was like perfect for the Bullet Club. Like I didn't understand why he wasn't in it before, but to see him kind of come back to Japan and have that run that he did, I thought it was pretty fucking cool.
I gotta ask, Rob. You said you felt something in your soul. Was it adrenaline?
No, I don't have enough room for adrenaline next to the Blackheart anymore.
That is very true. Shout out to the Demoness Nikla. We love you. Dan, your thoughts on Kenta being in the Bullet Club?
It was something different. When you talk about people that were vastly underutilized by WWE, Kenta, WWE has always struggled with building stars from Japan. Whether it be Shinsuke Nakamura. He won the Rumble, and then you have him lose to AJ at Mania. I'm sorry, he should have won that.
Oh, 100%. We've died on that hill ever since that happened.
Although that gave us the sorry.
No speak English.
That run I think was really, really good. But they've always struggled with that. So to see Kenta go back to New Japan and do all that was great. I still think Kenta's one of the best.
I've always said this about Kenta. My early introduction, even to him, and we're gonna watch it for Deep Into the Heart of Wrestling. Like his matches with Bryan Danielson in Ring of Honor and Pro Wrestling Noah. Go ahead.
She popped number 2.
Oh, thank you. I'm sorry. Yeah, Ring of Honor in New Japan, and I think even with Kenta, like I always liked the hard hitting, the strikes, those kicks that he would hit. There was something about him. I always equated to also who was in the Bullet Club, Sonata. Like not even when he was the great Sonata in TNA with the Revolution and James Storm and all that stuff, but Sonata was another one who's really evolved, and he was great as the IWGP champion. So I'll start with Rob. Your thoughts on Sonata-san?
That was kind of a strange one, because I remember around the time, like amongst our group, we were like, "Damn, like Sonata's got it. Like, why don't they push him? Why don't they do something with this guy?" So that night that he turned, and he's laying on his back, and we're expecting him to throw the fist, and he throws this instead, and we're just like,
"Oh shit!
Oh shit!" And it's the fact that his tag team partner from Los Ingobernables de Japón was in Japan, or in Bullet Club too. Evil.
Evil.
And it kind of made sense. But it was kind of cool to see Cold Skull Sonata in the Bullet Club for a short period.
Well, Watanabe is another one, aka Evil Kabi Watanabe. Those two together, I'm sorry, one of the most underrated teams in New Japan history.
100%.
Oh, dude, like they were so good. Dan, I'll give your thoughts on both Sonata and Evil in the Bullet Club.
Evil! Shout out to SpongeBob.
Hell yeah, Mermaid Man.
Mermaid Man.
Yeah.
What?
I think Evil had a really good look.
He did.
But at this point, Bullet Club had gotten away from what it originally was. Originally, it had always been, the Gaijin stable, foreigners.
You're right, because I think at that point they had more Japanese members than
exactly. You had Evil, Sonata, Gato-san.
Ishimori was in there, yeah.
And initially, he was the only one.
Yep.
And they kind of changed that. So, I mean, at the end of the day, it's what it is. But with reports that Evil is signed to WWE, cool. I personally sent him to NXT first. I think that'd be the way to go. I hope they get Sonata too. I think Sonata could do real well there. He was great in TNA. Wasn't he a TNA X Division champion at one point?
Yes, he was. So when he came in 2014, he won the X Division title, and then he became the Great Sonata with James Storm and Mahabali Shira and TJP, Manic and the Revolution, and and he turned on the Great Muta, and it was James Storm and Sonata against the Great Muta and the Great Sonata at TNA Bound for Glory in 2014. So he came a long way from that character to where he is now, Sonata. Evil, I always enjoyed him. Like, he was a badass in Ring of Honor and a badass in New Japan. So I've always thought those mixed well. And speaking of mixed well, we're going to go to the Switchblade now. Jay White and, of course, Juice Robinson, rolling motherfuckers up. Your guys' thoughts on the Jay White version of the Bullet Club?
I didn't like Jay White at first.
I just remember him as the young boy from Ring of Honor. That's all.
Yeah, and that's when I didn't like him. I was just like, I didn't get it. I was like, what the fuck is the appeal? Like I remember watching his match with Hiroshi Tanahashi during that Wrestle Kingdom. I was just like, I mean, this is still a good match, but this is the weakest match on the fucking card. Like, how are you gonna wrestle somebody like the ace of fucking New Japan and just do rest holds for 30 fucking minutes? Like, what? And I didn't really get it at first, and then he joins Chaos, and we're just like, what the fuck are we doing here? Just nothing really made sense until he did officially join Bullet Club, and it was just like, okay, now I get it.
I was always a fan of the Omega feud. I'm not gonna lie, him and Omega with the US title and all that good stuff, like that hooked me. And Juice Robinson is just all right. Here's my thing that I even go more with Juice Robinson.
CJ Parker.
That's where I was about to go, Daniel. Thank you, sir. When he was the environmentalist and he was like the hippie dippy Juice Robinson, then he turns heel and it just didn't work. And he was great, but the problem, they gave him that shitty ass gimmick. And then afterwards, nobody cared, and then he got released. Best thing that could have happened to him, because then he got to reinvent himself. Yeah, I loved it, and he just provides such great entertainment. So, Dan, your thoughts on Jay White and Juice Robinson rolling motherfuckers up?
You know, Jay White is somebody that, you know, I think he's someone that was destined for a bigger stage. You know, seeing what he can do both on the mic, in the ring. But I do think once Kenny and the Bucks left New Japan, just seems like Bullet Club was never the same. You know, they never were able to really recover that mainstream popularity.
Right. I have to add this too as well, because this will tie into Jay White and Juice Robinson. I think both Austin and Colton Gunn, that was one of the best things that they could do with the Bang Bang Gang and being aligned with this. Like, I like them just as, okay, it's Billy's sons, they're into wrestling. One of the great wrestlers and entertainers of all time.
You mean the Ass Boys?
The Ass Boys. Ass Boys, baby. Gonna make you retire like Vince McMahon. Max Caster, you savage. But no, I always liked the Ass Boys with what they're doing here. And they're also their tag team. I thought it added a lot to their characters, and also they're both funny as fuck, much like Juice Robinson is. So they gelled well with Jay White. I mean, in current time, I'll even ask you guys, because we saw what they did in TNA, and we're going to mention someone who Nicola hates with all of her soul. She wants to take his soul and really put him in a hole. We're going to talk about Ace Austin and Chris Bay. I've always thought Ace Austin, you know, with the card and everything that he did, the Ace of Spades and everything that he did, and TNA, the feud that he had with Eddie Edwards because he wanted to bang his wife.
You gambit, motherfucker.
All of that was cool. He was a great part of the X Division. Chris Bay, which, Chris, we love you, doing your thing. Much love and health and respect to you, Mr. Chris Bay. Throw it up for Chris Bay. Chris Bay is another one of those guys. I remember seeing him in Future Stars of Wrestling. I remember seeing him on Ring Warriors and in TNA, the X Division. The finest, if you will, everything that he did. I thought Chris Bay was a hell of a talent, and they formed well as ABC and the tag team division of TNA. So, Dan, I'll start with you. Chris Bay and Ace Austin. Hit
it. Chris Bay is somebody that such a fucking upside to that kid. Like, and I'm telling you, when he comes back, and I fully believe he's gonna be back.
I think so too, and
if he stays in TNA, or if AEW is able to snag him, or WWE is able to snag him, if you don't see the potential storyline to make him a world champion, like, the storyline writes itself.
It sure does.
You know what pissed me off too? I remember him having a match on 205 Live against Arya Daivari. And I'm just like, I know. I'm just like, yeah, I'm just like, bro, like, how do you not sign Chris Bay after that? It was a short match, but he looked so good. And I'm like, you have it right here. You have it right here. But no. But I mean, he went to TNA, so still that helped him a lot as well.
Well, to be fair,
yes,
Vince was still in charge, and you know, the whole...
Yeah, unfortunately. And I even hate to say it like that, but unfortunately, stuff like this happens in this world. Unfortunately. Rob, your thoughts on Chris Bay and Nico's favorite professional wrestler of all the times, Ace Austin?
I thought Ace Austin was always a good fit for Bullet Club. Just the fact that he kind of got in how he fit in. I thought it worked. It was cool. The ultimate finesser, Chris Bay, it ultimately just kind of seemed to be the writing on the wall at the time. They were great additions to Bullet Club, I think, especially in the junior heavyweight division. I thought they did fantastic. Would have loved to see him come over to Japan a little bit more, but I think what they did in TNA was really cool. And hopefully, if Chris is able to get kind of snatched up by AEW, even if he doesn't, that him and Ace Austin can go back to working together, because I think they got some unfinished business.
I want to see him on TV more so Nicola can just absolutely rage quit And that's like just the ultimate me for me right there. Hi, Nicola. We hope that you rage quit when you see Ace Austin and Chris Bay on your television screen. I'm putting that into the universe. But no, in all seriousness, but you mentioned the junior heavyweight division. Like I love the Young Bucks in there, them, Yo and Show, Roppongi 3K, the former Tempora boys. Like they had so much great fits there. Of course, Roppongi Vice, Rocky Romero, and Trent Beretta. But
the Bullet Club standouts for the junior division were always really awesome too. Like you mentioned earlier, Ishimori is in there.
Yeah.
El Phantasmo was in there for a minute. El Phantasmo was such a cool member of the Bullet Club. Just the way he was brought in. I believe Will Ospreay was in the ring with him at the time, and they're really good friends. And Will's just like, it's you. Like of all the people in the fucking world, it's you, bruv. And El Phantasmo, I think, brought something really different to the Bullet Club.
You know what it was for me with Ishimori, too? Like you mentioned the junior and even Ishimori. Like, I was so pissed because him and Narimichi Marufuji, who was also in the group, they were in TNA together. And the fact that I know Ishimori did some X Division stuff. I think he might have been X Division champion once.
For a bit, yeah.
They could have done, like, so much more with him. Like, this is around the time when GFW was there. They were bringing in the Noah guys. And I'm like, you have something there. Keep the partnership with Noah going. Like, there's a lot that you could do there. And they dropped the ball.
Definitely a lot to do. And thank you, Ishimori, for kind of redeeming the Bone Soldier character.
Yes.
Because that was just kind of really fucking weird. With Captain New Japan and the Bone Soldier. And that was just really weird. And he kind of redeemed that. As a matter of fact, I believe he debuted against Will Ospreay.
It all goes back to Bruv.
It all seems to come back to Bruv. He planted him really good on that nice DDT.
I got to tell you, one of the funniest things I remember of Ospreay, I just remember watching him against Okada when Ospreay was the heel, right? And then he steals the Rainmaker, and the entire Japanese crowd goes, "Oh!" because they were just like, "I can't believe he did the Rainmaker on Okada." Oh man, they were so pissed, and it was great.
It was great.
It was great. The other thing I have to mention as far as the Bullet Club goes, guys, another member I do have to put into the forefront. We mentioned him earlier. Did you like Stephen Amell? I mean, I like him as an actor, and from the wrestling stuff that he did, he loved and respected the business. Did you like Amell in the Bullet Club?
I didn't mind it. I thought it was cool. I mean, he had a couple good matches.
Oh God, who was the other one that I think is really a standout for me? All right, we'll go to this name. Okay, Hikuleo, aka. Yeah. Hikuleo was
worst fucking gimmick name in all of WWE right now.
You know what it is? I like Talatonga, and I do like Hikuleo, but did you guys like him in the Bullet Club? I thought he was a standout, just his soul size and his monster-esque.
Oh, yeah, I thought he was definitely a standout, and just the fact that, he was brothers with G.O.D., that was just like, oh shit, now you weren't going to fuck with G.O.D. regardless, but now you really ain't going to fuck with G.O.D. because they got this tall motherfucker really to, put a boot up your ass.
Your thoughts, Daniel, on Hikuleo?
Well, first I was, he a big son bitch.
Sure.
And I thought he was finally really starting to get over in New Japan, and he left.
Yeah.
And I think, I heard a couple of people, well, maybe AEW is going to... No. His brothers are already in WWE. He's going to show up there, too.
You know what it is, too? I also look at the Bullet Club or what it did with the Samoans and Haku and all that range. I think another one it really did for, I always thought it was funny when Gato was in it just because of the tie-ins with Okada and him going over to the Bullet Club. Gato was another one that stood out. Of course, he gave us what he gets us with this New Japan product. Go ahead, Rob.
It's funny that you bring that up because with Gato and Jado, we know these guys book the product. They're the bookers.
Yes.
They book everything. So just the fact that they booked themselves to join the hottest faction in the fucking company, I thought it was kind of funny.
that is some Vince Russo level bullshit, bro.
Well, here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna put ourselves in the Bullet Club, bro.
Bro, we're members of the Bullet Club now.
Too sweet me, bro. Too sweet me, bro. God damn.
I mean, actually, I guess you could actually say it's more Eric Bischoff level shit because Bischoff joining NWO after getting powerbombed through the stage.
What I want to do right now is introduce.
But don't criticize Eric Bischoff because he'll rant on you on his podcast.
The coolest guy in all of professional wrestling today, Hollywood Hogan. I still remember that promo. My lord. Another name I do have to mention before we get into the David Finlay era and what we got now with the Dogs. All right, we'll mention him. At Jungle Douche, the scapegoat himself, Mr. Jack Perry. Definitely needed after everything that had happened to reinvent himself, get away from the Jungle Boy Jack Perry, what he did with Luchasaurus.
Real glass.
Cry Me a River. So it definitely fit for the time. I'll let Roberto start because you have worn the shirt many of times on all of our shows. Your thoughts on the scapegoat?
Sure did, and I thought it was the right call. So House of Torture, which is a subgroup of Bullet Club. It's not that any of you watching this don't know that, but I thought it was the right call for him to do this and go to New Japan and just kind of lay low, so to speak, while the heat dies down. But to have him kind of embrace this scapegoat character and kind of make it into something that kind of helped him get back into the fold, I think it worked. House of Torture was kind of a weird group anyway, and I think he kind of helped him a little bit. So I was okay with it.
Your thoughts on Jack Perry, Real Glass, Cry Me a River, Daniel Crimmins?
There's a saying, turning chicken shit into chicken salad.
Yes.
He did that.
Oh, yeah.
And then, of course, joining the Elite, and that went nowhere. And I think there is such a tremendous upside to Jack Perry, and we all know what he's capable of.
Yep.
I would have liked to have seen more of it, honestly.
I mean, for the short time we got, it was cool. Like I said, he got to reinvent himself instead of just being, and all that good stuff. So you got to see this more attitude side, even though I'm looking at him like, dude, you're 5'5", sit the hell down. But at the same time, too, it added a lot to the depth of his character. And sometimes a lot of people need that depth to their character. And the depth aside, I do have to bring this up now. David Finlay. David Finlay is now in AEW with the Dogs because we can't call them the War Dogs, so now they are just the Dogs. Much like we had the Club in WWE because we can't call them the Bullet Club, so they were the Club. Now we got the Dogs. What are your guys' thoughts on David Finlay and the Bullet Club and now in AEW? David Finlay, too sweet.
A smart call. I know it was reported that they initially wanted him to go to NXT and lead that Birthright stable, which
it's not bad. I'm giving it a little pass for what I saw.
Somebody like David Finlay is the son of Fit Finlay, one of the most underappreciated stars of all time.
Yeah.
Like, they should have rushed him to the main roster. He didn't need to be in NXT.
No.
He didn't need it. Mm-mm. And he didn't want to go to NXT. He wanted to go to Raw or SmackDown.
Do him and his dad really got some beef, though? Because
I don't think so.
They're just doing it for fun.
Boy, that's kind of personal.
Yeah, he's just like, you're no son of mine.
I've never made no money with my brother and my dad, but I've made money with these guys.
I honestly think it's just part of storyline. His brother Uriah Connors, who
funny as fucking hell, but
yeah,
I mean, it seems a little.
Not to say he'll never go, but I think it makes more sense for him to be in AEW right now.
100%.
You do more of the Japan stuff, and Gabe Kidd and Clark Connors are both nuts and out of their minds.
Out of their minds, especially that Gabe Kidd fella.
Did you see him say "fuck New Japan Pro Wrestling" right after the freaking media scrum? My God,
sure did. But the way that these guys all came in the Bullet Club was kind of wild because this was the class of young lions that, when the majority of us in our group at least started really kind of digging into New Japan. So you had Clark Connors, Alex Coughlin, Carl Fredericks,
Alex Coughlin.
Yeah. Him Nick. He got hurt.
Yeah, I know.
Very hurt.
Very hurt.
But a lot of those young lions that came up in the LA dojo under Shibata, and the fact that they all went to Bullet Club, it was just like, oh shit, Bullet Club's going to be pretty tough this time. And I wasn't too keen on David Finlay leading the group at first because of his run with Juice Robinson. Him and, they had Finn Juice for a while. And, I enjoyed Juice, dressing like an asshole, jumping around, doing what he was doing. It was a lot of fun, but Finlay he was just like, I'm just happy to be here. And I'm just like, I'm not really happy to see you. But the fact that he kind of reinvented himself when he kicked Jay out of Bullet Club and basically stole all of Jay's essence, more or less, because for the first couple of months, he was just like, oh, he's just playing the Jay White fucking cosplay. He eventually kind of turned into something of his own, and it wasn't too bad. At least I thought.
I remember the IWC when David Finlay first joined the group. Everybody was like, and me like him, like him, like really him. Okay,
and I was right there with him. I was like, fucking all the people you picked.
Finlay,
Finlay's kid,
Finlay.
Okay, but no,
this guy used to hang out with Juice. Get the fuck out of here.
Yep. Hornswoggle's little brother.
Oh,
exactly.
Yes. But I think all in all, when you really look at the Bullet Club, and we mentioned a lot of the members, the merch that they sold was wild. The badass theme song, everything that went into the Bullet Club made it one of, and I will say it's in one of my top 10s of one of my favorite factions that rank up there. How about you guys? Would you consider it in the top 10?
Oh, easily.
Top 3, easy.
Top 3?
When you think of the greats, you think, DX. Well, early DX, not, the Triple H and Shawn Michaels at the end bullshit.
Oh, not the 2006 run, no.
You think of, OG DX. You think of the
Four
Horsemen.
Yep.
You think of the NWO at the beginning.
Yep.
If you don't have Bullet Club near your top,
you're a hater.
You're a hater. Drinking that haterade. Now, wait a minute. When you say the Four Horsemen, which version? The OG Horsemen or when they aired at which one?
OG Horsemen up to when they replaced Ole with Barry Windham.
Yeah, fair enough. That's a good choice.
That's a good choice.
Not the Sid Vicious era or the Sting era, because I'm sorry, Sting should have never been a horseman.
You mean not the Paul Roma era? Come on, man. Pretty boy Paul Roma?
Pretty boy Paul Roma?
When Ric Flair even says that Paul Roma should have never been a horseman.
Yes.
There was an interview where they asked Rick, they said, if you had to pick the worst horseman or somebody who should have never been a horseman, who would you pick? He didn't hesitate. He just said Paul Roma.
Arn Anderson co-signed on that because Arn Anderson said the exact same thing.
Well, Arn Anderson also said Sid Vicious too. So.
Oh yeah, I mean,
but I think that's for different reasons.
That's for different reasons. Reek. But no, I mean, when you think of factions like Bullet Club's up there for me, like Dan said, original DX, Four Horsemen. You can make a case for Evolution. I've always enjoyed all of these great stables, and I mean, and factions that really hang up there. The Hart Foundation, everything. You have the right people in it. You have the right collective. You have the right build. There's going to be different formations and different transitions and people coming in, but damn it, it's a hell of a time for the Bullet Club. And I got to ask you, which incarnation was your favorite? Who was your favorite leader?
Rob, you want to take that one first?
I'll take that one first.
Kenny. And I think the majority of that has to do with the fact that's when I really kind of dove into the Bullet Club and kind of really picked up on it, and I was there for almost all of Kenny's run. Kind of going back and looking at Prince Devitt and AJ. I mean, they had fantastic runs, but from Kenny was, I think, the guy for me. Finlay, I think, all criticism aside, and he got a ton of it. He did okay, but Kenny.
And you take it. Who was your favorite leader, the best leader, if you had to pick?
For me, I got to go with the Kenny and the Bucks era. Although, to be fair, Carl Anderson was technically a leader of the Bullet Club for a brief period.
Yes, he was. Right. Yeah.
But I think when you talk about the financial success of New Japan and the Bullet Club, you got to talk Kenny and the Bucks. You know, that was an era where they made it cool.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I remember back then, you would see it on Raw, SmackDown, PLEs. Like, you could look anywhere in the crowd, you'd see, oh, there's Bullet Club shirt. Oh, there's one. Oh, there's one. They were everywhere. And that, I think that led them to, really led Vince to try to get Kenny and the Bucks, and he never could. Triple H could never get them.
Try to get Hangman.
They tried to get Hangman. He said no.
Hangman said no.
Which, honestly, knowing Hangman and knowing where WWE, where their kind of affiliations lie now.
Yeah, he would not go there.
Yeah, no.
Absolutely not.
No.
Do you know who actually gave him crap recently for what he did on social media? I think you could take a guess.
Booker T.
No, not Booker T.
Not Booker.
Not Booker. Take a guess. I'll tell you. I'll give you a hint. He used to be
Bully
on.
Ray.
He used to be on the WWE creative team.
Vince Russo.
Yes. No, not Cornette. Not this time with Cornette.
Russo?
Yeah, Russo. Bro, because we mentioned the
syringe, bro.
No, we mentioned the Cornette went on a rant about MJF and Hangman. Oh God, motherfuckers are putting a goddamn syringe in his fucking mouth. But no, Vince Russo was more of the politicizing because he did a show. It was him, his co-host Jeff Lane, and Al Snow. Which I don't know if he can really talk about that right now with everything that went on with OVW. But okay, Al, I know this was a month ago, but still.
Someone's gonna die in an AEW ring.
Yeah, look what happened to OVW, Al. It was when he was pretty much tweeting, "Hey, TNT or TBS, stop airing the ice commercials," and they're looking at each other. It's like it's a business, and if they want to pay them to run those commercials, then they can run those commercials. And he said, Tony Khan should have got on the phone and told him, "Hey, check your boy. Like, don't go on social media and tweet at them to stop with that. Fans should call into the network and tell them to stop playing the ice thing." So they gave him criticizing for that, for telling them to play the ice commercials. Dan, you want to chime in on that one?
Russo can't really talk much. I mean, he's somebody that he can only get work in fucking Juggalo Championship Wrestling.
Shaggy Two-Dope was like, let's call Vince. Let's call Vinny Roo.
Like, WWE wants nothing to do with him. TNA wants nothing to do with him.
AEW
won't hire him.
But Juggalo did. The Juggalos and the Juggalettes. Whoop, whoop.
Whoop, whoop.
Rob, your thoughts on the politicization?
Fucking magnets. How do they work?
Vinny Roo is down with the cloud.
Your thoughts on the politicizing of Hangman and those fuck ice chants, and call into the network.
I mean, I know our country's going to shit right now.
Yeah.
And things are looking really, really fucking bleak. But we still have a First Amendment.
For now.
So he can technically say that if he wants. I mean, I get the business. It's like, don't call the network, but still, he has every right to express how he feels. Brody King, hello. Like, he can wear that on T-shirt. It's his First Amendment right. Freedom of expression, freedom of speech. Hello.
For now.
But yeah. I'm sorry, Rob. Go ahead. Okay, thank you. But no, I think when it comes to the Bullet Club as a whole, I'm in a three-way tie of my favorites because I go Kenny Omega and the Bucks, much like you guys mentioned, the hot topic, the financial side of things, and it was cool, the BTE. I do go with Cody in there too, just because of that feud that led back to the reformation of the Golden Lovers. So I thought the story there was good and how they dragged that out.
Absolutely.
And the other one would be AJ, just because I thought coming from TNA to where he was, even though it was short, and I love me some AJ Styles, and of course the formation with the one, the only Mr. Prince Devitt. So I have like a three-way tie, and then of course the original with Finn Balor, aka Prince Devitt. Now, worst member of the Bullet Club, or least favorite, worst, or the weakest one, would you say? Rob, I'll go with you first.
Probably Philly.
Okay.
But I mean, even still, it wasn't bad. The start of it was pretty shaky, but I think it finished pretty well.
Dan, take it away. I saw your eagerness.
J-A. No, it's a J-E double F. J-A double R-E double T.
Ain't I great? Was that because they wanted to do that just because of the tie-in with GFW, I think, at the time? Yeah. Oh, fuck. Yeah, I mean, Jeff Jarrett and Scott D'Amore, I understood it, but I wasn't a fan of it. But yeah, if I had to pick my least member, because Finley at the start, I'm with Rob. Finley at the start, Jeff Jarrett. Anybody else besides Jeff Jarrett that you thought was weak?
You know, honestly, I can't really think. I mean, Stephen Amell,
Yeah.
I guess, you could make the argument.
Yeah.
But, he's somebody that, to his credit, he's a fan, respects the business, which, I would make the comparison to Jelly Jam.
Jelly Jam, yes.
A.k.a. Jelly Roll. Who, with what he's doing, Jelly Roll took it seriously.
Yeah.
I
mean, if you look at Amell, like the SummerSlam match that he had with him and Neville against Cody and King Barrett.
Surprisingly good.
Very good. And for the short stuff that he did was cool. The Daniels match at All In was fine. You know what I'm saying? And then I liked it too. I mean, for me, I'm agreeing, guys. I don't really see
that show that he did. Was it Wrestlers or the Wrestlers?
The Wrestlers. Yeah, Wrestlers.
That was good.
That was good. But I've always looked at it like this. I can't pick a weak one for myself. I would say David Finlay in a way because of the start of it. And, of course, Jeff Jarrett because why. But I'll set the same – and also Mi Amigos. But at the same time, too, I think overall the way you slice and dice it, if you will, Bullet Club is one of my favorite factions, as is all three of us, because it gave us an alternative. It gave us merch. It gave us coolness. It had that factor about it that you wanted to tune in every time they were on your screen. And that's what makes a great stable, in fact. So with that, throw them up, boys. We're going to give a little too sweet. And speaking of the sweetness, that concludes this edition of Uncaged. We are done with our first 6 episodes. Daniel, we are up to episode 7, and we have 4 more to go. We added an extra one for this season. We still have Bash at the Beach with Mo, bro. We have Beer coming on to talk about Bill Goldberg. We have the Cruiserweight division to talk about some comedy wrestlers. But in our next episode, Dan, we are going to be talking about the best and the worst NXT call-ups. And boy, there is a lot to analyze and decipher about that one. My Lord. No Way Jose says what? Adam Rose says what? Neville says what? What? Y'all, that'll be in our next episode.
Lacey Evans says what?
Oh, wow. Okay, we'll go to Lacey Evans in that too. We talk about it. Hell yeah. But there's a lot to discuss. And thank you all so much for 6 seasons and 6 episodes. There's not another 6 to add there, so, don't curse me. With that being said, Roberto, before we close this out, thank you as always for what you do and what we do and everything that we do. So where can we follow you on the socials? The floor is yours.
Hey, so Mike and myself, okay, this is not that show. He's not doing that thing that we do on that other show. Deep into the Heart of Wrestling with myself, Mike, and our demon, Nicola. Hi, demon.
Hi, Nicola.
Deep into the Heart of Wrestling. We just did a show that should be out before this one or before.
This will be out this week.
Sometime in the next couple of days or so. Check Mike's YouTube. It's going to be there. We did a watch along of the wedding of Braxton Sutter and Laurel Van S.
Chelsea Green.
Very, very entertaining stuff. A lot of the typical unhingedness that you expect from Deep into the Heart of Wrestling.
Well, we got to put up the finger, Rob, and you too, Dan. Dan, come on and join us. Say it with me now. 1, 2, 3. Fuck Michael Hayes.
Fuck the Michael Hayes.
Yep. But so we
I'm
got
looking
that.
at you, chuckle fuck.
It's never not going to let it go. Go ahead.
Never not going to let it go. But Deep into the Heart of Wrestling, you can follow us at linktree/blackheartsEBE3. Go ahead and throw us a follow. You have the review show that Mike is on occasionally. DC's there with myself, Harold, and Mo. Are we going to do it?
Oh, Dan, you got to. This is the first one.
We're going to do it. So,
ready?
Linktree /TSK all MF and day. If you
Put
like
out the
music-
show, Flo!
Put out the motherfucking show.
Ooh.
So we have
Yeah.
we have a review show of AEW Revolution that should be up hopefully by the time this is up. You can find us at linktree.com/TSK all MFN day. We've got our YouTube, Instagram, Facebook there. Follow us, interact, have fun, because that's what we're doing. If you want to follow what I'm doing, you can find me at linktree.com/Hey, I'm Rob. Got a lot of musical endeavors going on. I sing and play guitar in a band called Consuming Fire. Death metal and grindcore. It's a little bit of it's a little spicy. And if you're into that sort of thing, follow me there. If you need songs for your podcast, for your commercials, for an entrance on the way to work, you can hit me up there. I recently just did the intro for DC and the Pile Driver Pundit here in the middle. Did his intro, did his outro. I do the intro and outro for Demon Child Wrestling. I do the intro and the outro for a couple of other things. But if you need one, please feel free to hit me up. If you're looking for something that's not as spicy, maybe something you want to sit in the corner, in dark corner, if you want to sit in the corner and cry and listen to some music, I've got a project called Ragged Bee. It's a little bit more chill. It's the opposite of Consuming Fire. So that'll be down in my link tree as well. Linktree.com/Hey, I'm Rob.
Alrighty, links will be in the description. Rob,
Cheers.
We also may need a song. Cheers. Daniel, put your cheers up. Come on, Daniel, don't act like you don't know what other cheers, man. Yeah,
Cheers.
So we definitely have to have you do a thing for Uncaged, man. Whenever you're ready. No, we got you.
I got you.
We got great people. Now, Daniel, Rob did an amazing job, as well as Dazzy. Hi, Daz. He did a great job with your intro.
Hi, Dickhead.
Hi, Dickhead. Please promote the Pile Driver Pundit and TSK. Dan, go ahead. Do your thing.
As you all are aware, if you are not, you are living under a rock, and you should be subscribed. Robert Davis and I, occasionally the Larkinator, are part of Kicking It with the TSK. We recently recorded a show for watching and reviewing Revolution, our unhinged rants, which it's me. My rants are golden, littered with sour sauce.
Sauce.
We're looking at you, Marina Shafir. But
you don't know me.
You do know me.
What do we do with problems? We
solve them.
I'm also the host of The Pundit that will be uploading tomorrow. I am also part of Uncaged with this gentleman over here. We have 5 seasons of good quality shows.
And almost 6 seasons to be done.
We also have the RWT podcast with the dead man of RWT, Mr. Paul motherfucking Morales.
Hi, Paul.
Hi, Paul. Yeah, come up here. Not really.
Not really.
And then we got this guy here, Mr. Michael Larkin. Michael, what do you got?
Oh, snap. Okay, so Robert mentioned it, deep into the heart of wrestling. We look back at the wedding of Braxton Sutter and Laurel Van Ness and Miss Maria, Allie and Maria, and everybody getting involved in that wedding segment. We have Uncaged. Our last episode that Dan and I did will also be out this week. This episode is this time of recording. Will be out the following week. We took a look back at what we would have done and what we liked and what we didn't like of John Cena's heel turn from last year. So, yes, we touched upon The Rock and his dipshittery, and we touched upon Travis Scott, Fiend.
Fuck the Travis Scott.
Fiend.
Don't you dare.
And we also did the RWT podcast, which you can check out now. The Steve and Mike Show, yours truly, and the son of the Goon. Hi, Goon.
Steve.
And are going to be recording real soon again. Not ICP. And we also have some pop culture on the Mike with Mike, the LFC podcast, and so much more on this fine program. You can follow me on Twitter. I'm going to call it that because fuck you, Elon. At SM Show 1 and at MCL92. SteveandMikeShow.com, LFCfights.com, and the Instagram It's Larkin_92, and I'm Larkin MB, and subscribe to the S&M Network Show's YouTube channel. Y'all, we appreciate you. We love you. For Robert Davis, for Daniel Crimmins, my name is Mike Larkin. Thank you for listening to another edition of Uncaged, and this has been Too Sweet.
And we'll pay you.
And we'll pay you.
Bye now.
Bow, 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 bow.